He is the man in charge. Finn Russell, undoubtedly a real talent.
Tuipulotu, Tongan-born, former Australian under-20 international. Actually scored 2 tries for Australia at that level against Scotland in a Junior World Cup. Pulls the ball back beautifully. Here's Ollie Smith. Ollie Smith with a score! Dancing feet, splashing tartan paint all around Murrayfield.
What a moment for that man, Ollie Smith. Wonderfully taking the ball to the line again. Runners drawing in again. Could have gone to the outside, steps up his left foot twice. First try at home at Murrayfield for Ollie Smith. But the work in attack by Tuipulotu, Matt Fagerson, absolutely excellent. And the finishing by that young man, terrific.
4 games in this autumn series, and then their first match in the Six Nations is against the old enemy England at Twickenham. 4th of Feb.
Set.
Tate McDermott feeds that scrummage solid from Slipper and Tupou. Here's Tate McDermott on that wrap around and a hurried execution there. It gives the ball away to Scotland. And Blair Kinghorn shows great pace. He's through here, Kinghorn. Has he got the pace of the bicep? That is an epic try from the Scottish 10, all the way from Wonderland.
The wrap around, the attempt to buy space in the outside, but just watch the read by Mark Bennett. Comes up on a spot hit, the ball goes to deck. Blair Kinghorn with the footballing skills and the pace to burn. And Scotland back in front, what a finish. But it all comes from turnover, the work of the defensive line. Mark Bennett, the creator. Some nifty footwork from Blair Kinghorn, using his left peg.
Oh, it's Adam Hastings' turn to go. Aye, right, well done, aye, sure enough, aye. Bring it on.
It's a big opportunity for him.
Fainga at Frost. It's quite a distance out from the line for the Wallabies. And they're being muscled off the ball and driven hard across the field. Fainga manages to release the ball. In goes Ritchie, Scotland's captain, with a tackle. Now Nick White looks for Tupou. Charging bull-like in low. Here is Bernard Foley. Can he find a way through? Good tackle by Tuipulotu. Nick White. Scotland's defence is good again through Mark Bennett. Oh, now there's a chance. There's more than a chance on the outside to Slipper. What a try by Australia. And it's the captain who scores it, making roadkill of those final Scotland defenders. And at long last, the blue wall breaks.
But a wonderful piece of interplay. Again, the physicality, challenging that gain line. And it's the return play. They've been so good on the edge. This sleight of hand again. Second row to loose head prop to his captain. Neville again, the presence of mind to lift his head, look outside him. Absolutely excellent execution. And Australia worked their way back into this game, but that is superb work on the gain line. Defenders in front of your face.
So Fiji continue to be under siege. Turner has it. The line out more. 4 metres out from that Fiji line. Joining in there, Ali Price. And Nick Berry getting in there. Just for a moment I wondered about the positioning there of Ali Price. But the try has been scored. And George Turner.
Gilchrist, and they build slowly. See that from the reverse angle. George Turner burrows over. Sense of the inevitable. The Scottish Maul, Fijians deciding not to contest in the air. Going hard at it on the ground, but just not having enough. Once that is constructed and set up. The space of 30 seconds.
So Fiji back to the full 15. Leone Tuisolia is back with us after his 10 minutes in the sin bin. Lamani is coming through at speed. There was Hambosi, the wing, who plays for that Fijian Super Rugby franchise, the Fijian Drua. Just inside the 22. Lemani decides to go wide. Out on the wing there is Tuathuvu, and how close did Tuathuvu come? He thinks he's got there.
But there, the pragmatism, hold on to ball, challenge the Scottish gain line forward after forward. A nice little piece of deviation, and what about the finish? No doubt in that at all.
Well, the television match official has said the grounding's good. Both feet were in the field of play. Oh, that's clever, isn't it? Setareki Tuathuvu. Well, he might not be so good.
All the pressure now defensively on Samoa. Can they compete? Can they regain? How can they disrupt Italian ball?
Well, they've got one of the premier line-out operators in the Six Nations, Federico Ruzza, to operate against. Vui holding on to his man, hasn't changed his grasp, according to referee Ridley. Varney, he's seeing Garbisi trying to open the door for Brex. Brex goes through, and Italy go through and over the line for the first try of the game. A superb try, first phase ball off the line out, and the big outside centre swerving his way through desperate Samoan tackles for the first 5-pointer.
Great try here set up for Italy. They win the line out.
A real opportunity now for Fiji in the Scottish 22.
Backwards, all backwards.
It didn't go to plan. Taking the ball forward there was Hambossi. Lemani appealing at the referee.
No, not him, thank you.
The floated pass out to Mata. Mata, the offload specialist. On there from Murivalu. That time it was Botia. Murivalu pops the ball up. 3 metres out here, Fiji. Lemani, oh! Well, one of his teammates has a go. It's Botia again. New penalty advantage being played here against Scotland. And this time they've got it down. Nick Berry awards the try, and Fiji are in front. The first 23 minutes of Test rugby for that man, Leone Rotuisolia. He spent 10 of them in the sin bin, and now he's got the try, which has taken the Fijians ahead.
But it's all in the quality of the carry. If it's Mata, the quality of hands. Again, Botia breaking the tackle of Ali Price. And then the collective power again, something we're not used to seeing from Fiji. But the collective power of that forward pass.
A very important time, you would think, for the home side. Try scoring has not been easy for the Azzurri over recent years, really. So they will get a lot of confidence from that play. There's Brex again. The release is there. The Azzurri into another opportunity. Varney feeds back. And here is a second try in 3 minutes. It's Montione back in the country, back in the colours of the Azzurri, and back on try-scoring form. What a 1-2 it's been for Italy.
What a play. What an exit. Second time they've tried it from deep. This time it comes off. Wonderful interplay by the backs. And you could see the excitement, the reaction from the crowd.
Well, in the context of the full 80 minutes, this could be a crucial 90 seconds or so. Matt Ferguson. They have the penalty advantage. There's Price. On to Hastings, and Hastings in front of mum and dad. has slowed down a few Scottish pulses. How important might that be?
Overloading the right-hand side. Ali Price does really well to take the ball to the gain line. It looks like Hastings is caught in two minds. But the fact they've overloaded the right-hand side, Fijian defenders caught napping, steps off his right, breaks one tackle. And Scotland right back into this game.
More.
Nicotano takes charge of the ball. Varney takes charge of operations. Through for Simone Ferrari.
Tackle away.
Don't expect to see the forwards releasing this for any time soon. You smell the whitewash. Ferrari again. Now it's out. Marisi.
Advantage.
The spin out of the clutches. Lewila. The ball is thrown wide. You can't keep him out of the action for long, can you? Monty Ioane back in the country, back in his adopted international colours, and the Melbourne Rebel winger.
And the hard work being done by the forwards. The wide vision by Gabrizi. He knows that they want shots defensively. Defensively, they still missing Ahong. Great attacking opportunity. You can see how the Italian backs are lined up.
Crouch.
Yeah, loading to the right.
Bind. Set.
Montiani just behind his fly half. Allowing Pierre Bruno to hold a wider right position, but they're spinning left. 3-on-1, the beautiful play. Nobody's going to stop Ioane from there. Monty Ioane with a double. And it's all a bed of roses right now for Italy.
And they're powering through. The only bit of criticism there probably is carrying the ball in the wrong arm. But a strong finish, getting the ball down. Wonderful try again.
This afternoon, he had held it since the final round of the Six Nations when he started against Ireland. Gilchrist takes the catch. Ewan Ashman burrowing away for it, along there with Piers Schoeman. But this driving maul within 4 metres of the Fiji line. There's Ali Price. Redpath stepping inside, trying to find a way through. Swamped eventually by the white and black jerseys. Ashman has a go. That was Boccia with the tackle, the arm out from the referee. So free hit here for the Scots. Out from Kinghorn, Harris, long pass to Duhan van der Merwe. Surely he must get in, and van der Merwe does.
Much better, but coming from the same source again. The pressure applied at Maul. This time the ability to lift the head, the vision out the back. A lovely pass over the top by Chris Harris to find his winger. Duhan van der Merwe powers through Makala. Scotland now with 2 tries in 5 minutes. A little bit of daylight for the first time.
He's helped off the park. The drive comes in from Samoa.
Down by White.
Picking up a bit of steam.
Ball's available.
Working towards the post. They're going to peel back right though. The break and the offload is there. And at last, 51 minutes into this game, Samoa break the bagel. Ulapano Junior Seruteni is the man whose name will be on the score sheet.
Crucial score for any hope of a comeback for Samoa. Strong driving maul, very dynamic. It opens up on the blind side. And Seuteni diving over for a good score.
Set. Stay behind the ball. Good work.
Monticello comes from the blind side. They peel back to the right-hand side, and Lorenzo Canone is going to celebrate his debut with a try. And look at the elation in the Azuri camp at that score.
Famous son scoring in the corner, and again it comes from a strong.
Bernie puts it back into the behemoths in the Italian pack.
Okay.
Here's one of them. Rizzo again, eager to get possession and do some hard yards.
We're still under advantage for offside.
Canone the elder. All the way through there. Well, the man on the mic's enjoying himself, so's everybody else. So's Pierre Bruno. Bruno has a brace. Ioane has two, and the hour mark comes with half a dozen tries now for the Azuri.
You said he won't do that again.
Very patient play there
I think it was there
by the Azuri. 12
maybe I'm
phases. Been very impressed with their organisation. So close on the attack, their forwards getting into their pods. But it's been the recycle at the breakdown. Good presentation, quick recycle, and eventually the opportunity opens up for Pierre Bruno to collect that lovely little grubber.
Crouch.
Any positivity they can get out of these last 10 minutes is can we
Bind.
hold position, can we keep building, can we make the right decisions in contact at breakdown time? Anything to build on our performance for next week against Georgia.
Garbisi goes matador, and suddenly Italy running from anywhere. Bruno just tagged there.
Perfect play on. Ball's out.
And the ball falls into the midst of Duncan Paia'aua for a debut try for the Toulon man. Well, a little bit of delight for Samoa. Good contest at the breakdown, and then the release.
Exactly what they needed. Good work there. He gets over the ball, he hassles, but then the speed to get back on his feet.
As a consequence of a player being sacrificed. So 15 against 14, 7 minutes remaining.
And you have to fancy Scotland here, even with an 8-9 to the right-hand side.
Golden opportunity, and unchallenged, it's Ben White.
So with a man on the sin bin, you can see Vazea not even interested really, doesn't bite in. He's hoping his flanker bounces out to help him and look after the scrum half. Far too easy in the end. But the work at the scrum paying off in the end. Ben White dives over. And that now a step too far for Fiji. Sin bins have been absolutely crucial.
Not waiting for the line out, just trying to get something happening. Bruno scuttles back towards his 22. BC makes the call out to Monticello. That is a sizable collision.
Good counter.
Samoa have turned the ball over. McFarland, one last chance for the Saracens man to show his athleticism and dynamism maybe. Lee gets the ball away. Allen. Seo with a beautiful offload to McFarland. McFarland steps inside. Good strength and has the height and the determination to get over. Well, we've seen him do it in Saracens colours this season. And now he shows it in the Samoan strip as well. Whistle Theo McFarland. Have a look at this.
And this is what Samoa we were expecting about the offloads, the free running, twist and turn and he scores the try, but it all came from a very dominant hit on Menoncello.
Smith then carry, a really good carry. Papali'i, Barrett, New Zealand humming.
And away!
Smith once more. Skip one or two and find their way to Shannon Frizzle. Savea. Wales forced to defend. Savea almost there. Smith has options both sides. New Zealand building and building. Barrett just held up short. Anscombe one of those to help make the tackle.
Use the line! Use the line!
Pressure mounts on Wales' line. New Zealand continue to bang at the door. Another pick, another go, and they're there. Cody Taylor, I think, is over. New Zealand are in. They soaked it all up from Wales. They made the line break, and then they made them pay.
Yeah, they certainly did. Yeah, it certainly was. But it was soft tackling from Wales there. Justin Tipperick, 9 times out of 10, you back him to make every tackle.
Ominous signs again for Wales as New Zealand pound away, control the tempo, control the ball, and just ask Wales to tackle again and again and again. Barrett leaves it. Savea.
No clear knock-off.
Faletau did really well. De Groot almost there. Over it go Wales. Tipperick needs to leave it alone, and he can't, and it's a penalty.
Justin, you've got to get back onside.
And they're going to go quickly. Savea crashes route one. Once more, Cody Taylor is in. It's the hooker for the second time for New Zealand. As soon as they get within 5-6 meters of that Welsh line, you just feel it's going to come.
Just shy of 20 minutes. That's just giving New Zealand that extra chance each time.
Mo'unga adds the extra 2. Smith delighted with the efforts of his pack. The atmosphere pre-kickoff was electric. It's gone rather quiet since. Now they raise their voice. Can Wales raise their game? Tipperick, the captain, into the sky. Possession secured. Rhys-Allen, and then Dyer is in. It's Dyer. What a day for the boy on debut. Wonderful try. Rio Dyer saw the gap and straight through he went. Really well constructed, really well finished.
Misdirection, options of runners. You had 2 backs running around the side there. It could have gone to Rio Dyer, it could have gone to Gareth Anscombe. It just creates that element of doubt. And this man only needs half a second of a gap. And it was Nick Tompkins.
New Zealand around the corner. Comes Taylor again. He's a menace for Wales in this first half. Absolute menace. The All Blacks hooker causing Wales all sorts of trouble, but they send the fringe runners back on that occasion. In the opening 34 minutes or so, when New Zealand have got themselves into this position, they've come away with points. Savea looks to continue that trend. Lomax.
Tackle! Don't go in there.
Taylor leaves it. Aaron Smith
Advantage
goes back to Papali'i. Offside against Wales. Free play for New Zealand. Crossfield it comes. Competition is won. Wonderfully won. Jordy Barrett. What a try. Mo'unga and New Zealand playing advantage. The kick
was pinpoint accurate, but the finish was spectacular.
Yeah, absolute pinpoint accuracy, because he's not got the most amount of room to play with there. He's only got probably an area of 5 square meters to land that kick, but it's the hang time. It allows Geordie Barrett to get up. He's got to use his height. He can't use his pace. There's nowhere for him to run, so it's going to be a height battle. So the longer that can be up,
all good, Wayne. All
the
good.
better for Geordie Barrett. He just gets his fingertips to it.
22 points to 16 in the visitors' favour. Remember, New Zealand have beaten Wales on the last 32 straight occasions. Advantage being played to the All Blacks. Wales won't want that coming out of there, but it does. Aaron Smith, little snipe, little go. Away he goes, changes direction. Different class. Different class from Aaron Smith. Absolutely top drawer from the scrum half. His 113th international cap, the day he becomes the most capped All Black back. And what a try.
But just watch on the defensive set now, Priestland shoots up out. He really puts a lot of pressure there on Tommy Reffel. And just that little half, we call it a dog's leg, it's like half a gap where you get a bit of a disconnect between players there.
And he stepped back inside Rhys Zammit, who is no slouch, and then accelerated away. The angle, Tompkins will play scrum half Ken Owens into just the New Zealand 22. Still advantage, of course, to Wales. Here's Louis Rhys Zammit. Faletau. Papali'i made the tackle. Williams once more. And then Alan Wynne-Jones. Wales building up a little momentum here. Advantage still being played. Where to from here? It still breaks. It might break. It does break. Tipperick is in. Wales have to try. The TMO will have to decide, but the referees awarded it. Captain's roll. Little kick over the top.
Lovely awareness there by Thomas Williams, just spotting a little bit of a gap in the backfield. Brings Priestland onto the ball, but it's the chase up, and of course it's going to be Justin Tipperick. Incredible pickup.
Yeah, wait, let's just throw this down. It's quite tight.
New Zealand players
this
shout
here.
Forward, knock forward. Well, not there, I don't think.
Okay, just going to have a quick look at it together.
Tipperick, does he have control over? Two-try Cody Taylor from the first half. Papali'i and Taylor around the corner. The pass goes to Geordie Barrett and bodies get thrown to make the tackle. Savea will pick and go. Reffel will help to put him down. Alan Wynne-Jones was there as well, but New Zealand upping the pace.
Advantage, penalty advantage, offside.
Advantage being played.
Let go now.
Papali'i stoops and gathers. Smith has a little look. Savea doesn't give his scrum half the opportunity. Savea, Smith, oh, again, out of the top drawer. Savea, consistently outstanding. Smith on the shoulder to take full advantage, and Wales ebb and flow from high to low. Which means the route will go. And Christ Chunza, wearing 20 for Wales, comes in for Tommy Reffel. Chunza from Exeter, winning his third. Kiro Ioane. Aaron Smith. Smith again.
Advantage, offside, Aaron.
And eventually the error comes from Wales.
Penalty advantage, offside.
Offside, free play for New Zealand.
Tackle now, let go Wales.
Wales, to their credit, come up quickly,
captain out the way.
do everything they can to shut off the opportunity. But it's just wave after wave of All Black carrier. And New Zealand continue on their way. Aaron Smith almost squirts free for his hat-trick.
Another advantage being played, another opportunity, and over goes Ardi Sevilla.
Double check the grounding, please, Bomber.
A dramatic dive to finish it off. It's another try for New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand are getting so much joy just doing those short carries in and around the ruck area. And we commented we haven't really seen the wingers get their hands on the ball that much. It's because New Zealand don't really need to put it out wide.
The grounding is good. The ball has got
They're
to the line.
getting loads of meterage just from the...
It wasn't part of the script, and back goes Webber to atone. Whitelock sets it up again. Wales just tackle and tackle and tackle again.
Ball is out a long time. Ball is out.
Papali. Webber, 3 meters short. Alwyn Jones is the closest to the corner.
And away.
Ioane, Webber, New Zealand just prodding, and eventually finding. In for his second is Jordy Barrett. 7 tries for New Zealand. 2 for Taylor, 2 for Aaron Smith.
Like you say, just poking and prodding and subtly just getting more and more defenders involved in every carry. It's nice that switchback play. Well read there.
Good, Wayne.
Attack against the grain. It was a simple mismatch of pace there.
I'll check. Oh, sorry, on the clock. Sorry.
Brother to brother tries and ends this winning or losing streak, I should say. Last beat New Zealand back in 1953. 70 years next year. New Zealand want to finish this one with an exclamation mark. Ardi Sevilla at the back.
Advantage, collapse. Penalty
Takiaho is over. It's an 8th try. And it breaks the 50-point barrier. Absolutely dominant performance from the All Blacks. Alwyn Jones can do nothing but look on.
Their dominance all over the field, aren't they? We talked about the defensive effort from Wales, and it's really starting to show. Tired bodies out there, but credit to New Zealand here. They picked the exact time to fracture off. Really good heads-up rugby there, just aware.
He's really backing his forwards here, saying, I'm going to put you in there. Give us back one of your super mauls.
Well, Johnny Sexton, as soon as he kicked that ball, he put his hands on his thighs. He's not happy, as you can clearly see. Vincent Koch comes on for Frans Malherbe. Vincent Koch, who got a good contract with Stade Francais when his club was into administration.
It's all right. He's all right.
So remember, so many of Ireland's tries come from lineouts. 10 of the 25 in the Six Nations came this way. Bulldozer line! Did Ireland get it down? Josh van der Fleer is the player who is celebrating at the base of that maul. Well, Ireland, for all the world, looked like they were being beasted towards the touchline there.
You question whether they should have taken the points or not. Johnny backs his forwards. They've obviously worked on that. They decide to take them all around the front, lead South Africa to put pressure on, to almost drive them to touch, and the ability to keep Josh van der Fleer in field to get that ball down is absolutely outstanding.
And by the way, that's when a commentator is absolutely delighted that Josh van der Fleer wears his old Wesley headguard, the bright red, like a flaming matchstick in there.
It's carrying back now, 50-22.
Another one of those up and unders. Great take by Hugo Keenan. Then he gets a thud on the spine for his troubles. Beelum. Inside channel blocked by Jasper Visa. Gibson Park shaping for the kick.
It's out now, yes.
Etzebeth coming through. The ball was out, says the Georgian referee. Willems underneath it. tackled by two Irishmen, Robert Balakoon and Gary Ringrose. Balakoon not getting much goal in the loose, and in comes Doris Brigady, kept in play. Van der Fleer, James Ryan, Porter, superb. Jamison Gibson Park, here's the gap. Ted Byrne, must be a try for Ireland. Jimmy O'Brien to Matt Hansen. Razzling the Springboks defence. And falling with pride in that wide channel.
The ball out well. Let's take first ball, Keenan.
Sorry?
This is so well read by Doris. And then the ability to keep the ball back in play. Bit of fumble here with Beelan, but they managed to get away, and Jemison Gibson Park disconnecting that South African defence, and just the quality of the pass in here. The space is always there in the wider channels of South Africa on turnover ball.
Yeah, just Stu, can you confirm there when the ball is won, there is no touch on the sideline? Take your time.
Yeah, ref's just checking that.
Okay, thanks, Stu.
Doris didn't go into touch when he won that ball, but I think he was good.
Ireland very much in control here, though. Johnny Sexton, 65 minutes played, despite the injury, still on the field. Off goes Willems and runs straight into Faf de Klerk.
No effect.
Looked like de Klerk was maybe pushed into Willems by an Irish hand. From this angle anyway, Vincent Koch carries.
Release!
Willie LaRue. Damien Dialende brought down by Josh van der Fleer. And Ireland, they almost got over the ball there. Here is LaRue into that space. Here's the try. Surely Colby inside. Here is Colby. Great defence on the touchline by Ireland. Etzebeth. Faf de Klerk. Here is Damien Dialende. Can they finish off this time? Dion Furley, the 36-year-old veteran, goes for the line. Dialende. Great defence by Ireland, but not this time. And Franco Mostert, he says, referee, I got there. But did he?
Big ball carry from him. Big line, great line from the big man.
Set.
But I don't know whether he's fully committed to that tackle.
Advantage.
Penalty advantage, South Africa.
Play advantage.
Faf de Klerk, 31 years of age now, always a busy boy in those flowing golden locks of his. James Ryan doing his defensive duty there, and now Vincent Koch, who's carried well. Van der Fleer tackles Damien Dialende. Mostert, one try already for him. Colby. Even with his balletic dancing feet, he can't beat the Irish defence from there. Vincent Koch spins it round for Willie LaRue. Great defence by Robert Balakoon. Reading out of the ball, there's a try. Courtney Aronson gets in. The over-the-top offload from Eben Etzebeth was up to goal standard. And it's the Springboks in the green and gold. They're right back in this game.
See a huge amount from Aronson at the start. Great work here by Koch to get the ball out into the second line of attack. Balakoon, you thought he'd done enough, but Etzebeth getting his hands free and the danger man.
And a French team that will be frustrated that the score and away wasn't clean enough. Gelon picked up for Woki, looked to sell the dummy, wasn't going to get rid of Nick Frost that easily. Picked from by. Dante, where's he off to?
Play on.
Thinks there's some room down this side, but there's certainly no winger on the outside. Dupont then on for Antonio. Lovely little chip through, the chase by Ramos. Oh, and Australia keep it alive, or do they? Can they play from here? It would be quite extraordinary if they can. They find a little bit of room on the left, and they are now flying through top right. Ball back in field. This is Australia. Flying upfield in the Stade de France. It's a sensational try, finished by Fouquetti and carved of the French themselves.
That is an absolute worldie. From one end of the pitch to the other, they caused themselves so much problems initially, but then as soon as that ball is turned over and in the hands of Tom Wright, well, we've seen his pace before. The former NRL superstar just herring down that left touchline, and then the ability to just pick off those final defenders. That's brilliant from Australia.
Will the French decide to do much with this? Dupont's been reminded that the ball was taken back and told again.
And use it!
Certainly will want to get some length on that. Now it's down. Campbell just drifting into that 15-metre channel. It's there for Nick White. Plays it back in field. It's high-risk stuff. Oh, and Gael Fiku's got his hands on it. Loses it backwards, but decides to put boot to ball. Is then brought down. There are screams from the fans that that was unjust. But the numbers will pile into this rut regardless. Clock goes into the red. The ball's coming back for France, who go for the line and score the try. Well, France hadn't trailed at half-time in the last 23 internationals. Gonna start now.
Well, we talked about errors. Foley just lobbed an absolute Hail Mary out. Didn't need to. Put his team under pressure, and then that leg drive from Dupont all over Kellaway, who was retreating to get that bumbling ball, and then Julien Marchand from that distance.
Trailing by 6 points. Maul is engaged. They've even got Tom Wright in there. Paisami as well. Taufik Fanua is told to get out of there. Then the break. Fainga trying to find some change out of the French defensive line. Won't on that occasion. Now it's up for big Will Skelton. Sells the dummy, but gets isolated. Dante's gone in to get it, but actually knocks it on in the process. Or at least it's come back on the Australian side. There's no advantage. Oh, it's a lovely little slip of the ball back inside. Tupou. Not one of those replaced just yet. Foley now. Australia to put some width on it. It's a superb bust for the line by Jock Campbell. Second cap for Australia and his first try in the green and gold. Australia fighting back in this second half.
It all came from Will Skelton as he gave that inside ball. The French defence rushed up thinking that he was going to carry, and it just allowed Tupou to get in behind. And as they reset, well, we've seen Jock Campbell, he's been desperate to get away. And as soon as he got the ball in his hand in that amount of space, there was no way. Restart would definitely been playing in his mind.
5 minutes left for France to get themselves back in front. Great dart and low drive through from Ikitau. Hodge sends it down the middle. Jalibert. Oh, it's lovely footwork from the replacement. Back to his feet. Dupont is there, having just retired in sufficient time to be the first man. Dante with the carry. Gelon. Campbell is calling numbers down to this near side. Taufik Fanua. Jalibert wants to float it over for Damien Penaud, who knows how to finish from this sort of distance. Oh! Damien Penaud! Oh, it's outrageous!
Oh, unfortunately for Reece Hodge, it's a misplaced kick that's just allowed Jalibert to get on the front foot, and that ball over the top from Jalibert. Massive fend on the inside on Jock Campbell. He's taken one right in the face, and Damien Penaud You can't stop him from there. Brilliant finish from the Clermont winger. France don't know when they're out.
Wait for the ball, wait for the ball.
One thing we do have today is what we're calling smart ball data.
Let's go, fellas, let's go.
You might see one or two stats just popping up in the top left-hand corner of your screen, other than the running clock and the scoreline. We'll provide some meaning to those numbers as and when they do appear, but just to mark your card, all of the balls used today actually have a microchip in them.
Bind.
Let's send back all that data.
Set. Stay there.
Yeah, it all started with the first man walking on the moon more than half a century ago, and it's carried forward by Thokana Singer, twisting and turning, and he's got the score. And that is why Eddie Jones picks this man.
A second time, fix it.
He brings an additional dimension. We talk about Mana Tuolangi. Well, you can easily forget the impact this fella can have, and we saw it there.
Rugby, isn't it? A good scrum. 8 to 9, all good. Just holding the midfield, holding the opposite number. And Thokana Singer, as you said, blindside winger, coming there. He'll take some stopping. Initially stopped, held, turned, rolled, using all the weight. A very simple try, very effective try, and a good try from England. Well worked, again, in these conditions. Keep it simple, keep it tight to the forwards. Good, buddy. Don't do the elaborate pass over the top.
15.
So, decent attacking position here for the Pumas. Montoya goes to Alemano. Montoya, Vetrano. All looping round, and now there are spare men over. Carreras, beautifully worked from the Pumas. Buffelli into the corner. A work of art on a wet day.
Wow. Look at this, you think they're going to go for it. It's the wraparound. Scrum half, big looping out pass. That's just beautiful there. Guerra puts the afternoon. I thought that was too early. It isn't, because he aquaplanes over the line, using the conditions to his advantage. Carreras, that is beautiful now. You see it from that angle. Nothing England could do. They were caught napping there. So I think all the people in the stadium where they thought Argentina were going to go for the throat, and they went out wide. What a score, and that's exactly what they wanted. Michael Cheika could not be happier, I'm sure, just after coming on the pitch in the second half. Look at that delight from the Argentinian supporters. They lead.
Stay.
Suddenly, England have picked up the tempo. But that was loose, and that was untidy. Genge seeks to atone.
Away now, Argentina!
The tackle from Malia, who has to try and get himself out of that position. He's trying hard. Youngs. Here's Billy Vunipola. Sinclair. Up to the Pumas 22. Smith. There's Curry. An Argentinian defence has had chance to reorganise itself, and Crema holding him up.
7.
Smith has got to ground. There's the ball for Mana Tuolangi. And Farrell that time. And it's been picked up, and away goes Carreras. And Carreras is being chased by Stewart, but Carreras is going to get there. The Pumas have got a second try.
And England going about their job, going about their work with the pod system. You think Stewart's going to chase him down? He doesn't. Van Poortvliet, I think, is due to come on, Martin. Yes, he's on. Now we might see a little bit more creativity.
Yeah, good there, yeah.
So Ben Youngs gives way for his Leicester Tigers teammate, Marcus Smith, on there to Farrell. The carry forward from Tuolangi. There's Alex Coles. Genge. Oh, and there's a bit of space here, and Van Poortvliet straight in there, and Van Poortvliet has got the try. Immediate impact.
Okay, subs. Away.
Well, that's got to be one of the quickest substitute tries, I would say, in the history of the game. I think he's been at the base of one ruck, past the one, and now he's gone. The guards weren't there, and you've got to say, why didn't he start? He uses the conditions superbly, and he's off.
Well, for all his undoubted qualities, I think we can work on the basis that Ben Youngs wouldn't have done that.
Well, there's a few England scrum halves would. Rafi van Kirk, Mitchell at Northampton, but they don't seem to give him a run.
Probably wasn't playing for the full 80.
I think he might have picked up a knock, Petitu, last week as well. Tuisui, who's had some thundering performances for London Irish, again in the English Premiership, where Declan Kidney is now the coach, the former Ireland coach, coached them to a Grand Slam. Weathalevu, and on the outside, oh, it's Levu! Weathalevu's got support! They're going to score here, or Fiji! Ravovo! The flying Fijians at warp speed here, just 3.5 minutes gone. What a shock for this Irish side.
Just their skill level here and the ability to get the ball to width. Ireland were defending quite narrow there. You see Gibson Park in the backfield, then tracking across. Just the pace, and then the support line the inside. Levu, and then just brilliant sport, Ravovo. All of them following up and chasing there. Lamani there with the dive for no reason, just adding to the celebrations. Great power, fend off and pace.
Great work by Hambosi to keep the ball in play. He was so close to the whitewash there. England beaten, taken by Tagburn. Great drive down, fractures and Timoney splits away. Gibson Park, now Kieran Treadwell bumps off the first attempted tackle by Bottia. Gibson Park, Furlong, just pops it to Tagburn. He muscles his way forward. Jeremy Lockman stepping inside those black and white jerseys.
Out of it, off it.
Caelan Doris, can he roll past?
No, stay
Maui?
back,
He can't. Jeremy Lockman, who played pretty well in that A game at the RDS. And Ireland plough on towards the line.
Vintage.
And they're over this time. They are. Matthew Reynal signals the score. And it's Nick Timoney, the Ulster flanker, who comes up with the ball. And Ireland get their equalising score.
They do really well. Nick Timoney, key to it here. He breaks off the maul. He makes good yardage, sets it up. Ireland are really controlled and measured when they work through the phases. Treadwell, another player who came out of that summer tour with his name up in lights. He really had a really consistent tour. And great pop there from Tagburn to Timoney. Low body position.
Bruno on the turn.
Wright and Paisami working well in tandem there, but still the Wallabies under pressure, under threat. Down a man, of course, for Jake Golden in the sin bin.
Move!
Kanone the younger sets the target. Lucchese comes round to drive, making some headway, smelling opportunity, smelling success. Skelton all over the ball. Varney feeds it out. The rainbow pass, and it's a try. The try is there. Firenze celebrates.
Australia, this time they work through it. Ball over the top. Good finish there by the backs.
Yeah, he is proving to be a finisher of some quality, Pierre Bruno. That's his 4th try. He's only playing in his 6th game, of course, a brace. Just waiting, biding his time. It does seem to be a long time, and ultimately it's fallen foul, but the hack through kind of works for the Wallabies, and now they try and move the ball out into more spacious climes. Turnover ball. Michele Lamano, what an inspirational choice he was as captain. Of course, somebody that Kieran Crowley knew well from Benetton. Handling is there, Briggs. And a charge through from Capuzzo. Ange Capuzzo is back in Italian ranks with impact. What a score.
What a try. Look at that attacking setup. Ioane coming off his wing. Quick hands. And ultimately it's a 3-on-1. Quick hands there by Montiani. This is where he's so dangerous, ball in hand. What a finish, what a try. Italy flying high.
What a discovery Capozzo has been.
For Andy Farrell's side. Goes to the light blue helmet of Tadburn. Herring at the tail, fishing for the ball. It's a massive green armadillo. Mac Hansen comes in, so does Stuart McCluskey to drive that green beast over the line. There's nothing Fiji can do to stop that. Nick Timoney already has 2 tries to his name.
Just see it here. Perfect time and throw jump. Set it up. They don't block at the front. They allow access for Byrne to be sacked. Great control at the back. Always get a bit nervous when backs start joining mauls. We've seen it before with Ireland. They've been penalised, but that's perfect from McCluskey and Hansen. Just giving it that extra nudge over the line. 2 tries for Timoney already.
Scored a try on his debut against the USA.
Giving away turnovers. Crucial they score here.
Yeah, those first 2 tries from the hosts have forced this call.
That's one goal!
In many ways from Toa.
Moving now.
Backs joining in with the
Okay.
maul.
Use it now,
But
go!
being
Use
repelled
it
at the moment, forcing the breakaway from Fainga'a. Who's there? To Hannigan. Quick presentation. Again, the counter-ruck is there. This time, Australia protect the ball. McRae no way through. Reception committee of Lucchese and Brex. Again, the penalty though goes against the defence. Alessio throws it wide this time, Wright's in the right place. Just waiting to see the hand go. Fourth in international colours. That was Alessio's huge miss pass that set it up. And that is just what Australia needed right now as we head into the last 10 minutes of this first half. Flag, of course, doesn't count for anything.
Good work, Marius. Good work, Casey.
A flying Tom Wright.
Maravesi. Here is Lamani. Botia, he's hit hard, release the ball. McCluskey, great hands for Ringrose. Smoothly moved on. And now Carberry.
No, play on, play on.
And the ball ricochets away, and Timoney looking for a hat-trick. Herring, Kieran Treadwell doubles back against the grain of that Fijian drifting defence. Here's Lockman, Carberry, Jimmy O'Brien getting close. Did he make a second movement there? No, he didn't. The try is scored by Bobby Bonacuda Ulster. Had hardly any opportunity at all last week against the Springboks, but he'd no one to beat there. The Fijian defenders all sucked in tight with a man in the bin.
This is brilliant from Jimmy O'Brien.
What do you want me to check?
Whether it's a double movement or not, I don't think so from that. Lockman here, brilliant hands. Slice it through O'Brien. He was brilliant last week when he came on in the centre. Does he take a little extra crawl there?
I see that at the momentum he's not tackled. I see that at the momentum. Bang!
Australia splitting 4-2 in the backs, 4 on the left-hand side. Jack Gordon, the Waratahs captain, goes left. Taisami runs into a blue ambush, but they keep the ball going. Alessio. Given. Quick presentation from the Wallabies. Not allowing the Italian defence to reline. A sense of urgency for those in green and gold.
Out one. Advantage one, not rolling.
Fischetti has been pinged. So free play for the visitors. Darcy Swain, almost but not quite. McRae is though. Fraser McRae gets his 4th try for Australia, the first try in this second half. And that is a key score psychologically for the visitors.
Possession. Alalatoa there with a nice tip on. And it's the speed of the recycle, the flow of the Australian attack, beating the Italian defenders, not allowing them to get in strong defensive positions.
Pressure from Varney just causing the quick release from Campbell. I think the Wallabies have got away with one there, but they're still under pressure in their own 22. Oh, lovely pick-up. Great pick-up from Ioane. Lamano. The crowd now urging their compatriots to press a little further. Ioane's the man to beat Capuzzo! And once again the Azzurri back 3 strikes. Deft handling, superb lines of running.
They have to score, and the players deliver. Lovely ball behind against to Tommaso Allen. Quick hands by Ioane. And with a little bit of space, look at him slice through the defence, straightening outside.
And great work there from Monty Ioane. And did you see it back play? The smile on his face when he realised he'd opened the door for another Italian try.
An Australian in ill discipline, costing them again. Unfortunately, their penalty now got overturned because it was foul play. And an opportunity lost.
Federico Ruzza, that's a good tackle. Just giving Australia a chance, Hannigan. And it's Robertson. Well, from villain to hero in the space of 60-odd seconds. Just over 10 minutes left, and now it's just 3 points of difference between these two. Would you believe?
Player of the match against New Zealand last autumn. Playing at 6 today, a lot of starts at 8 as well, of course, for Ireland, Caelan Doris. And it's Kuruvole of the Fijian Drua Super Rugby side who feeds this scrummage. Ireland wheel it, they win the penalty.
Advantage.
Craig Casey, they must score here. Simple as you like for Matt Hansen. Fiji down to 13 men. And my goodness, couldn't you tell? There were acres of space there for Ireland to exploit.
Casey spots the gap really well down the blind side. Penalty advantage, not needed. Great pass out to Hansen.
Okay, thanks.
Got their fullback trying to scrummage as well in there, Tui Thuvu. Really down on numbers, of course, and body weight.
Side and he does it well, and you know, just phenomenal player.
4th most capped Irishman of all time. 35 years of age now, Cian Healy. Kuruvole. And Bola. And oh, brilliant little offload there from Tui Thuvu. And Wainakolo goes through and gets support. What a line that was by Kuruvole. A classic teat line from a scrum half. Being in the right place at the right time to receive the try-scoring pass.
Super work from Wainakolo.
All right, rather South Sea Islandish.
It's just always trying to keep that ball alive. And they've look at that, that's quality. That's a brilliant attack from Fiji, and I'm not taking away from it, but Ireland will be annoyed.
It could be decisive in the outcome of this one.
Bind! Sit! No, 9, behind the ball, 9! Hold! No, 9, no, 9!
Dermot trying to time the run in midfield. Round the corner come the Aussie forwards, but look at that tackle from Rutsa.
On!
Every hit now being cheered to the rafters by the home fans.
Out 16.
Here come Australia, and they're through! It's Neville! Cadrin Neville has got the score! There is now going to be a conversion opportunity for the visitors that could decide another game in Europe.
Thanks,
this time, it could make them victors.
Guys, obviously very important, so...
What a finish we have here.
On your post and communicate.
Casey again, Cian Healy, Crowley. Crowley sets it for Casey. Ireland very bunched around the ball here. McCluskey's out on the wide left-hand side. Prendergast still against the 14 men. Remember Ireland since Tuasui's red card. Here's Cian Healy. Tadhg getting closer. Absorbing a lot of heat now are Fiji. Ireland about a metre short, heaving to the line. Puffing and puffing and eventually breaking down that line of Fijian defenders. And Cian Healy, at 35 years of age, seems to hardly have the strength to get off his knee. What a warrior he's been for Ireland.
Feet there at that ruck. They pick and go, work through the phases, and then the power from Healy here. He rides the initial stop well, he gets underneath and he drives over the line. For his 11th Irish try. Great body position.
Well, I don't know. I think the penalty, he's actually his opposite number, the tight end, sort of rolled his shoulder in, broke his bind. That's given England a penalty chance. Farrell could have gone for 3, probably would have got it with his accuracy, but again, no wind, beautiful conditions out there. Perfect for this guy, Cowan-Dickie, to hit his man.
Goes to Itoje, the Saracen again, who stays in the air for what seems like an age.
And that's a penalty again, because Ribbons has stopped the opposition getting a touch, and also Sinclair is right in front of Murray Itoje, something we were told to pick up on by the World Rugby authorities.
And Portfleet, who made such an impact swiftly last week after barely 30 seconds. And now there's a real chance, and it's Stewart. And Stewart, barely a Japanese hand on that brilliant white shirt. It's taken less than 12 minutes. England are back in business.
You think England are going to go, keep it going, they don't. They try to rush up on Farrell. Farrell pulls it out the back door to Marcus Smith. That's when the combination winger, Matusima, just doesn't get up on Stewart. And he's a big rangy guy, fullback. It's very simple. Riley takes out just a maths exam, numbers on the outside. Doesn't need Johnny May. Stewart is under no illusion of where the defence is. Simple try, too easy really for England there. Japan didn't ask many questions in defence. Stewart knew the answers and scored.
Well, Matsushima, you can see there the expression tells you all you need to know. He realises, acknowledges the mistake he's made. Here's Johnny Hill, once of the Exeter Chiefs, now a Sale Shark. Farrell. Here's May. On to Cowan-Dickie. As it was last week, Twickenham at the moment, not as noisy as it often is. Little chip over the top there from Marcus Smith. And that was taken comfortably by Japan. There's Nagare. Back to his half-back friend, Yamasawa. Stewart, all 6'5" of him. Throwing with confidence. There's the offload. Van Portfleet has Fokana Singer, and Fokana Singer. Oh, that was such an important tackle in the end, coming from Yamasawa, but the danger not gone, and it's Marcus Smith who's gone into the corner. Well, I'm sure it will be checked, but one way or another, England may well have got their second try.
This time Japan kick long, and again they don't rush out. They're dog legs all over the place, and finds the injection of pace right through the middle. A great offload to the scrum half. And then Fokana Singer got a try last week. He just hauled down. He's got to release that. Now he releases it. Marcus Smith is there. He tries the hitch kick. The flag is fine as long as he's still in the air. Who hit the flag? That's great. That's great power. That's what you get from a big man who's built like a second row playing fullback. Van Portfleet, beautiful, beautiful. Takes nearly 2 people out. Yamasawa gets him just about, and then holding up. That's the result. We'll see it from this angle. Yes, he's got that down. With just in the last minute, they want to leak any more points, Japan.
Yamanaka, the fullback underneath there, along with Stewart. Oh, Stewart, so brave. I think he took a bit of a bang there, did the scorer of the first try, and he's getting back to his feet very gingerly. Here's Itoje. Van Portfleet. Back goes the fullback Yamanaka again. Van der Heever having to bend his back. Oh, I say, his fullback.
Penalty coming here.
Oh, it's been turned over. Van Portfleet, and look at the numbers out wide here. And surely this time, Simmons onto Porter. And Guy Porter, whose selection, shall we say, was a source of much discussion, speculation, even a bit of criticism, gets a test try.
Not taking good balls. This is brilliant from Stewart, by the way. Again, it's a 50-50 ball. That's a contest. There's no problem with that at all. Ball comes out. I think he regains it. There you go. That's fine. That hasn't gone forward because he's regained it. But again, they're trying to run out from deep, Japan. Turnover ball, and look at the numbers. It's a simple game. Riley tries to rush out on Simmons, I think it is. Passes it off to Porter, and he can't believe his luck.
Poor old Harold van der Heever has had a couple of moments to forget, hasn't he?
But that's the game. You say Japan want to play this way. It's great, but don't make mistakes. You're giving England points. He reads the game well. Obviously, he's got a good relationship where he knows how that guy wants to play. Whether he is allowed to play that, we'll have to see how these next 2 bigger games against New Zealand and South Africa go ahead. But at the moment, I think England are well on song, and you've got Portfleet conducting them superbly.
Maro Itoje having to bend his back a little bit to secure that one. It's there for Van Portfleet. Farrell presents it. Chance to go wide. Marcus Smith. Stewart thinks he can go through himself, but it was fullback on fullback. Curry. Sinclair. At pace. He takes some stopping. How well they did. What about Ellis Genge, though? And he gets over. The baby rhino has made it for England.
Crashing it up. Look at England just stretching. Japan, they're scampering to get back. Stewart does the right thing there. It's pointless giving the pass to May, because that will take all the space out and the defence is in the line. Recycle. That's the second one. The first one was from Sinclair. That one's from Genge. 2 Bristol props combining, and you're not stopping him from that distance. It's the power through the hit. He keeps his legs pumping.
Former Otago Boys High School player has come on. He's replaced Keita Inagaki on the loose head side. Sam Simmons.
Step there.
Also, they made the change on the wing with Van der Heever coming off, and he's replaced by Siasaya Papita. There's Papita straight into the action, wearing 23. Magare. Captain feeds the ball on. Nakamura. Oh, and look at the counter up there from Itoje, and Johnny Hill, one-handed, floated over the top from Ribbons. It's now with May. Off the left foot there of Farrell, and Porter's after it, and Porter has got there. A second try for the Leicester Tiger.
So I'd say Sam Simmonds is having a super game. Again, it's Mario Toje going over. That's fine. Again, you're okay to do that. Johnny Hill, he's on his feet. It's the Harlem Globetrotters are in town. The two big giraffes popping the ball over the top. The result, Farrell off his left into the corner. Beautifully timed, beautifully weighted, beautifully finished. There you go. That's what you got to do as a scrum half. Scan in front of you. I know he's playing 12, but he knew exactly what he was doing. Marcus Smith can't quite get there, but the Leicester guy can. You'll see this time and time again.
Well, Eddie Jones has had more critics this week than he needs to fill the Albert Hall. Oh, and he's through his Derns, and his Derns up against Portfleet, and eventually the try is scored by the replacement scrum half. And Naoto Saito has got the try for Japan.
Keep coming at you, they won't change the plan. The little offload, and there he goes, just it, no one's at home, he picks again. It's good dexterity, good skills, popping up, doesn't die with the ball, and Saito underneath the sticks. They keep knocking at that door. There he goes, a rip ball, it doesn't matter. If that ball goes forward, it doesn't matter, because it's a rip ball, you're allowed to play on. Derns does that, Saito scores.
Clear access.
In microcosm was the couple of minutes which summed up the England performance. Eddie Jones promised there would be no Mexican waves today. It has been an altogether more professional performance, and could they be on their way to another try here? Well, somewhere in there is the ball.
I don't think you can see that to give it.
What's the number? Yeah.
Well, the referee is playing a penalty advantage.
Yeah. Yes, correct. So the number, just back up.
It could be a penalty try. Eric Goza, I think, might be called on in a couple of moments to assist James Dolman.
Yeah.
Listening.
Okay. So
side
this
entry.
Here, side entry. The maul's going forward with momentum. It's a yellow card and a penalty try here.
It is indeed a penalty try.
You can see Jamie George at the back there. Again, he's coming. Fafita has actually come. Is it Fafita's coming the side? So he's coming in wrongly. The touch judge has seen it. He's transcripting that to the referee. There you go. That's where it goes. He triggers. You're not allowed that. You've got to come from the back foot. And really, England would have scored that if he hadn't come in. That's what the referee is deeming. Potentially, would there have been a try? Yes, they would. That's good help with the referee. Good help to the touch that he doesn't believe it. Don't make any mistakes. They've made far too many mistakes today. So you've got to learn from that. You don't have to reinvent the game or reinvent the way you want to play. You've just got to be better at it.
Ben Youngs got his hands on it. Here's Marcus Smith. The kick pass. The chip over the top from Stewart. Henry Slade is after it. Matsushima has been found out again. There's a chance here for Smith, and Smith gets his second. England up to a half century.
Been paying off. The kick pass wasn't great, but again, Japan down to 14. There's acres of space at the end. Just checking that was okay. That's fine. Bounce of the rugby ball. How many times we've seen that? The kick ahead. Smith's onside from Slade. There you go. With all his experience of playing 10, getting balls thrown at him from bad scrum halves, from good scrum halves, he's going to take that one all day, isn't he? It's good skill.
Brave or foolhardy, it hasn't yielded points the last couple of attempts. Plenty of time left in the game, but just sense this has to stick. Stage one complete, brought down from Tipurik. They may well just choose the small meterage from here. Wales get the try. It brings up 50 test tries scored against Argentina by Wales.
You said it was a brave call, and it's only the right one if they make it pay, and you do feel like there was a sheer determination in that one. Absolutely no chance of the backs getting that ball. That was all about the forwards. They had a point to prove. Really nice, tight connection there on that driving line out. Didn't even bother working the ball all the way to the back. They knew they had the power to drive over.
All clear in.
Not shy to go forwards himself. Brought in perhaps to give a little bit of aerial strength as well to this Welsh backline, given the lessons they learned last week from 6'5" Geordie Barrett. Bertrand. Carry from Thomas Gallo.
Play on.
Little chip forwards. It's just going to find Thomas Williams. Who just hung his boot out towards the touchline to be able to get that down the corner, and then the charge down. And Thomas Williams is going to be the one over the line for Wales' second try. But it was all of his making. The chip ahead down the touchline, the charge down, and the score.
They've just been caught second-guessing with their kicking game. They're not quite sure what they want to do here, taking way too much time on that. That was a lazy kick. Thomas Williams, he's one of the fastest nines out there. They should know that. You've got to run onto that ball there. That's a tough lesson from Malia, the Argentinian fullback, to take.
Well, while we're talking about Louis Rees-Zammit filling in at 15, Juan Cruz Malia does play more at 14 with Toulouse.
That's 11 penalties so far. At the elite level, they do say that 10 is the crucial number. If you get over 10, it's very unlikely you're going to win that game. So Wales are making it a little bit challenging for themselves at the moment.
Albornoz plays at Benetton. Scored 19 points against the Scarlets at the start of October in their 34-23 win, Benetton. If Kieran Hardy gets off the bench, he might not fancy seeing Thomas Albornoz. But this is brilliant rumbling work from the Pumas, and Ben O'Keefe sees the ball is down.
Hey, stop.
It's taken some time for them to find their way over the whitewash in this second half. Argentina's first try in the match.
And look how quickly they get the momentum going here. That was a confident line-out throw into the back there. Obviously pre-called because the other pod joined on so quickly to the back and got that roll going. There's very little Wales could do there.
Pace on the game.
Referee wants pace on the game. Don't we all, Wayne? Don't we all? Marchand down for Dupont. Nice bit of movement in the midfield. France around the outside. Just can't get Makalou away. Dupont. Good scramble defense from South Africa, but they're stretched. Aldrit goes route one, tries to suck a couple of more defenders in. Marchand pops it off to Cyril Bay. Dupont once more. Antonio, beast of a man, gets another yard. South Africa done a good job of slowing it down, but France just 3 meters short now. Dupont, Ficou, they have plenty of men out to the right. They have advantage as well. They come back to this left-hand side. Are they there? Referee says they are. France get their first try of the evening. And I think in amongst all that is Cyril Bay.
Positive French attacks. The defensive system all out of sync. It's Sia Khaleesi making the wrong choice of attacker. And when Cyril Bay...
First thing Marks must do is find his man and try and get South Africa going forward. Antonio is gone, by the way, in the front row. That injury has taken its toll. Falatia is in. South Africa are on a roll and continue on that roll and get advantage. And Kolisi, untouched. Over he goes. South Africa with advantage, take advantage. We thought they might disappear. Not now.
To set the standards, to never take a backward step. Siya Kolisi's that man every time. Just broke up all the French looking into the breakdown, actually, as Kolisi disappeared off, little pirouette in behind Moefana.
The line out, 5 meters short of the French line. Third time South Africa have gone to the maul. Malcolm Marx broke away, but he was nearly cut in half. Such was the ferocity of the French tackling. Kitsov puts the head down and tries to burrow his way there. 14 against 14, remember. There should be a little bit more room out there. Can South Africa find it? Willy Leroux, out wide it goes. Arendse. South Africa are in and over in the corner.
I'd have expected from Arendse, but that is a brilliant finish. Up against Jelonch in the wide channels, just a bit of footwork, enough of an explosive start to get on the outside, and then Jelonch at the covering back rower did what he could, didn't he, to drag his feet into touch.
Walkie the target, down it goes quickly, almost there, held up. Moefana just couldn't get there. South Africa defending as if their lives depended on it. France just keep hammering away. Surely it will come. It's another advantage. They're dragged over and the try is awarded. Try given. Advantage was there. At that point, they didn't get there in the end. Just about.
Beauden Barrett doesn't play at 10 not much these days. There's Jeff Wilson, played in the wing for New Zealand, of course. Made his debut here in 1998, scored a hat-trick. I'm hoping that, Scotland hoping that Mark Talia doesn't do a similar thing today. Takiaho, good line out take, and it's an advantage to New Zealand. Takiaho, he's been a fabulous finisher this year already, scoring try after try after try, and machine gun-like he goes in again. Well, that was a tremendous line out from New Zealand, and Scotland were fractured, and New Zealand it is who come away with a score.
Penalty ensues. This is the result, defending on your try line.
Finlay Christie collects. David Havili to Beauden Barrett. Takiaho again in possession. He's a real gain line buster, Takiaho. Beauden Barrett, that looked like Leonard Brown might have been offside there. Caleb Clark, can he beat the Scotland defence that scrambles across? They get their hands on the ball, Scotland, but it's illegal. They got to release that. And the ball played for Talia. He's got to score. Try number 2 from the All Blacks, and they're pulling scores from the fantasy catalogue already here. So much dexterity in their play and imagination too.
And you simply have to applaud the decision-making on the ball. Again, it's the work of the breakdown. Ardi Save on the second bite, well within his rights to go for that ball. Scotland again not getting the numbers, not efficient at breakdown. A wonderful chip through, a simple 2-on-1 created, and the damage is done. Scotland go off their feet again at the breakdown. The panic, it's Christie that does the work of the breakdown, and again the decision making. Pull the ball away from the gain line, look for space, all too easy. Majestic piece of rugby by the All Blacks. If we're going to exist in this game already, 14 points down. The All Blacks being absolutely ruthless again at the gain line. The dominance that we saw and the aggression against Wales last week, very much here and present at Murrayfield.
Gregor Townsend deciding to bring Finn Russell in and leaving Blair Kinghorn on the bench. Bit of a U-turn. Finn Russell was the last player off the bus. It was almost as if he stage managed it. What a marvellous round of applause and cheers from the crowd that are waited to see Scotland arriving. The bus comes in here to Murrayfield behind the Pipers. Lovely inside ball to Stuart Hogg. Chip and chase for Hogg. One of Scotland's all-time great players. Was he pushed off the ball by the All Blacks defenders? Did he get a hand to it? Nevertheless, there's a little bit to be decided here by the officials. You got a feeling there was some interference on Hogg here. Taken by Barrett. Bowden
keep coming.
Chases his own kick. Darcy Graham, can he get away? Sam Whitelock slides away from the tackle of the New Zealand captain. Finn Russell, Sealing to a Piloto, maybe numbers here on this side. Duhan van der Merwe, powerfully through. Brilliant by van der Merwe to make that half break as Scotland pile into the breakdown, but superb work by Papa Alihi. Don't know how he got in there and managed to get his hands on the ball. And here's Clark now to Havili. Remember, New Zealand are on 14 players. Darcy Graham, has he the pace to get away? We all know he's got the footwork. A movement polished to a shine by Darcy Graham. 2 unanswered tries in short pace time by Scotland. All Blacks are stunned.
The turnover was good again from the All Blacks. They look to find space, but Darcy Graham just lingers in that channel, as a smart winger does. Think of Brian Habana. Welcome Darcy Graham to the fold. The footwork, he goes in and out. And Scotland right back into this game. Oh, what a start, Robbo. What a game of rugby.
Well, he was player of the match against Fiji. 92 metres he made in that match, and he's added considerably to that there. Superb footwork, top-class finisher is Darcy Graham, and that's his 13th try for Scotland. Well, the start, they went through New Zealand 20-plus phases, and Ryan Crotty scored in the corner. So, and it happened this season in the Rugby Championship as well against Australia, controversially, when Barrett scored in the corner with the last play of the game. Up goes Surveyor. Perfect pass, but they haven't got across the line. They might do very shortly though through Frizzell. Heroic defence by Scotland. Another pick, drive and go by New Zealand. Well, they were tearing that Scotland defence. They took pile drive after pile drive after pile drive from the All Blacks, and eventually it was Scott Barrett who managed to tunnel his way over.
New Zealand brutal and direct. The interplay off the base of the scrum ties the Scottish defenders in. And the brute power, Scott Barrett again. A man on his backside, the leg drive to get them over the line.
Use it.
Barrett. Oh, good footwork from Barrett. Stepping away from defenders. Perenara to Frizzell. Can he stay and play? He can. Caleb Clark. George Boer. The whole width of the pitch away to the right. Should they wish to use it, might just hammer away again through the middle, through Artie Surveyor. Take their time. Pick their opportunity. Well, the crowd are doing their best to lift this Scottish side. TJ Perenara. But you feel it's ebbing away for Scotland here, All Blacks. You feel as if they're in control, even though there's just 1 point between them. Papa Leahy with that carry. Perenara. And they're through here through Talea. who scores for New Zealand. Well, that was a combination of meteors, power through the middle, and then a little bit of stardust on the outside.
Determined in this resurgence by the All Blacks pack. Just a spot blitz. Goes a bit wrong for Mark Bennett.
There you go. Yeah, sorry.
Is that grounding perfect? There's a question.
Does he drop it? Talea, does he get it down? It's all about separation these days. That's the new directive. TMO's happy.
The dead ball area is 6 metres. It's 100-metre length as usual, but 68 metres width. So the angles of kicking from hand is going to be critical to making any progress for both sides. De Klerk. The quick show and go from Willemse, and out it goes to Arendse. Arendse squeezes his way over. What a start for the Springboks.
Microphone is on. I don't know, speak.
Good, confident work and start from the South African backs.
Okay, hand off, now speak.
Utilising the space outside. And that's what you want. Get the ball in hand of one of your lethal finishers early. Scores in the corner. And up until now, South Africa's only scored 3 points in the first quarter. It's finding a replacement and building the depth, more importantly, at 10 foot for Springbok rugby.
Talking kickers, of course. I think Fasta kicked a couple in Paris last weekend. Here comes Missouri. Allen throws out wide to Ioane. Ioane showing great strength and determination. Now the forwards line up in midfield. Fischetti first to get his mitts on the ball.
Advantage.
Penalty call. Lamara throws it out, and it's that man Capozzo. You cannot keep him out of the game. First touch in this test match, and Owens Capozzo is on the scoreboard again for the Azzurri.
Yeah, Springbok lose the ball. Quick recycle.
Ball taken into touch by South Africa.
4-5 on 2 overlap.
Lost into touch. Picked up by.
But is that man Owens Capozzo on the little tap on? Running it, pace on the ball. Carving through what remains of the South African defence.
Capozzo slaloming through Springbok tackles to find his way once again to the try line 5 times now.
Ken Owens, Adam Beard, the Lion. Neat little move. More than just a neat little move. It works sublimely well. And Jack Morgan goes over for Wales' first try. Such a neat and tidy execution from the line-out.
Well, what an impact for Jack Morgan to have. Rugby fans in Wales have been wondering when he's going to get his opportunity. I mean, he's more known for his work rate on the ground, his turnovers. But he's now going to get a reputation for a fantastic little dummy there. Really cute. Great awareness. That's a pre-planned move. You know, the letter of the law for that move, he's supposed to give that ball, but I love it when you can see players, they've got that awareness. They know the options there, but always the number one thought should be, play on.
And Wales can play on here through Ken Owens. There is space on the outside, George North. And here's Jack Morgan again. Tries that dummy again. Josh McLeod. Wales finding some rhythm now. Carter with the carry. A little bit more about themselves. Wales, Watkin just about clings on to that ball there. Thomas Williams to McLeod. Priestland finding good field position here. Thomas Williams. Priestland once more. George North, big, powerful, strong man. So is Alex Cuthbert, working well in tandem. The outside centre and the winger. He's in again, is he? He is! Jack Morgan gets a second try. What a fabulous beginning to this game from the flanker. And Wales, after being so subdued for so long, have 2 tries in double quick time from the same man.
But it's because the Georgians weren't competing at the ruck that was giving the opportunity for the flanker to stay out. He didn't have to get in there and try and protect that ball. A great awareness there by Thomas Williams. Released that super sharp, super quick. Lovely little bit of interlinking play by the wingers. George North in at 13, doing a fantastic job. What a dream game Jack Morgan is having.
Yep, a try against France last week, a try against Italy this.
That's a
Must the target, the drive comes on immediately, turning the focus of pressure.
Stop.
The breakaway is from Mbanambi as he got there. Carley getting himself in great position. Eric Gozan going to be brought in here.
There we go, there we see the placement there by Bongi and Mbanambi.
This the oldest stadium in Italy, and at times the noise level makes you hope that it's going to survive the next 35 minutes or so. Great take from Colby. Cheslin Colby leaps to put South Africa into the lead. I think he's hurt his leg in doing it, but what a score, what an opportunistic score from the Toulon man. Healthy lead, take a look at this.
Great hang time there, Damien Willemse. The speed of Cheslin Colby to get underneath. Beating Morisi in the air there. Flying for a try, what a response.
Thank you, Eric. That's it.
Flying Cheslin Colby. Hopefully that isn't too serious. It looks like he's done some injury to his hamstring. But what a response.
Yeah, but it's his first chance to weigh things up and releases Aronsah immediately. Stormers playmaker
Tackle.
again. Again Leroux calling the shots from playmaker. There he is again. Levo, the extra man, the release to Willemse. Keeps the ball alive.
Play on. Backwards.
Maloba contemplates the sidestep, but thinks better of it. Visa sent back from whence he came, but still the Springboks attacking the Italy 22. Opportunity here. In the corner goes Aronsah. He scored at the beginning of the first half. 8 minutes into the second, he's on the scoreboard again. Bit of security on the scoreboard.
Willie Leroux getting involved in the play. So many touches on the ball. Sia Khaleesi there with the final pass. But most impressively, it's been the speed of ruck.
Thank you, Eric.
The ball coming out so quickly, not allowing Italy to organise their defence to place the ball, and Italy penalised.
Over 15.
Visa, the tail gun Charlies, they come round on the charge. Etzebet stops short, but presents well. Quagga Smith isn't going to be stopped. And that surely is the icing on the cake, still with 25 minutes left in this match. But South Africa will be reassured by their fifth try in the bag. The Blue Revs back rower with enough power and thrust
that they can really compete against the top sides.
Great. Bye.
Placement on for Georgia's Kamaladze. His 93rd cap. He's been around a long time. 35 in a month or two. Lobzanadze, and they're on a penalty advantage here. Sharikadze. Oh, there's space for Tondua. It's a try for Georgia, and my goodness, do they deserve that. Superb play. They opened up the space, and then they saw the space.
Really clinical stuff there from Georgia. Strong scrum, and then because they know that Wales are a player down, there's going to be that pace out wide. The positioning of the scrum means that Wales have to put a defender on that blind side as well. So it leaves them the most vulnerable when they're a player down. But like I say, quality of kick When you've got someone like Louis Suamit who can cover the ground so quickly, that had to be pinpoint accurate.
Putting the pressure on the Italian defence.
The take from Mostert once again. Principal line-out target for the Springboks. Malcolm Marx comes and sits in the vanguard as his mates get the leg drive going. Faf de Klerk wants the ball. I'm not sure he's going to be given it. Oh yes he is, because he's over the line. Now who's going to get touchdown? It's Marx, I think. Faf de Klerk wanted an early Christmas present there. Malcolm Marx was having none of it.
Scoring opportunities against Ireland off the tee. And then in France, it was so close. But so important, this performance today against Italy. As we saw last week against Australia.
Arendse gets the ball away. Allen back in position. Gets the call from Ioane. Haven't really seen an awful lot from the Italian back three due to the way that the Springboks have been controlling the game. Are we going to see it now? Menoncello gets up to halfway. He's got support. Goes into the contact of Libbok. That's a missed opportunity for the Azzurri. Had to look to his right, not to his left. Italy moving up into the opposition 22. Federico Ruzza tries to get Garbisi through a gap. Advantage call is there for the home side. The home fans have woken up. Nicolo Canone sets up position.
Got your advantage.
In the middle of the park. Allen with a little dib over the top. Monty Ioane goes a-hunting. Ioane gets it from the clutches of Leroux. It's there for Ferrari. Simone Ferrari. Has he got it down? Yes, he has. I think it's Lorenzo Canone that's finished it off. So Allen can't add the extras. It is becoming more prevalent throughout the game, with players effectively out of control of their own bodies.
Ripped in the tackle, play on.
Smith it is who picks up the ball. Dealonde just chips it ahead. Allen gets back, but he's got Arendse on his back.
That's a good run. Out now, Use it!
Italy have to go from deep.
Tackle! Let him go! Knock on.
Ball comes loose, and it's there for Kitshoff. Kitshoff is not going to be stopped from that distance. On the occasion of his 70th cap, Kitshoff gets his second try inside their own 22.
And not clinical enough at the breakdown. The ball shoots loose. Franco Mostert pounces on it.
Thank you.
Kwagga Smith, Franco Mostert. And the power by Steven Kitshoff.
Andy.
The step, the bump, the score.
Just look at those stats, Tinas. 11 visits to the 22, averaging 4.2 points per visit. That is clinical work.
That is clinical work. You know, up until this match, they were only at around 1.9 points per opposition 22, but certainly have taken their chances and opportunities this test match.
Reinach gets the ball away, round on the wrap, and it is going to be Willy Leroux, is it? No, he feeds out to Willemse. There's the 8th try for the Springboks. There's the 50-point marker gone past. The world champions have rediscovered their mojo so often.
There, Andreas Reisen with the ball out the back. Willy Leroux with the final pass. But it come from a very strong scrum set piece. And Reisen, so devastating on the carry.
We got penalty.
Shows that he's got that variation in his play.
Who knows, we might get another one before the final whistle. The home fans have provided a wonderful atmosphere along with the visiting supporters as well. And South Africa really have rediscovered what they're about. Arendse appearing off his wing. Cobus Reinach. Koch and Kitshoff, a different midfield combo. Kalonde showing the great strength and leg drive that everybody knows he possesses. Liver throws it out to Khaleesi, onto Aronson. Here's a 2-on-1. Capuzzo in two minds. Aronson's going for the hat-trick. Is he? No! It's inside to Reinach. And a little bit of icing on a very tasty Springbok cake. What a score that is from the world champions.
Great ball there. And look at Kurtley Arendse. So gracious when he runs. So fluid. And the final ball inside. Kobus Reinach. Great tracking line on the inside. We see Antoine Dupont do that so many times. Just knowing where to be, where to support.
Van der Merwe wants to take this quickly. Scotland fancy a chance to play here. Darcy Graham comes up the middle, but numbers are left here, and Finn Russell was calling for it. Through the hands it goes. Hogg, Van der Merwe up against Boffelli. Worth the admission price alone, that duel. Low one for Schumann. Shoo, they bellow around Murrayfield.
Don't push the ball into him.
Carl Dixon, a former scrum half, he's not going to buy the fun that's out there, but the offload goes to Tui Pulotu. Was it forwards in the meantime? Tui Pulotu's not going to stop to find out. Over the line he goes. Carl Dixon says, try Scotland.
I put it on the ground. I got the ball on the ground.
What an effort by Scotland.
Canada's all good.
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Finn Russell's arm is out ahead of him, but the ball is effectively transferred backwards out of the hand. His last match was against Scotland in the first test, but he had to go off after about 15-20 minutes, Sanchez, so they hope to make an appearance a little later. But this is Argentina. Scrum's become a bit discombobulated, so Carreras always looked to put the little chip through, but it's only met the boot of Finn Russell. Russell couldn't get hold of it, and referee happy for play to go on, but that dominant hit from Graham, enough to initially slow down the Pumas, but they've got numbers on the outside, and De La Fuente will finish it. Plenty of loose ball on the floor. TMO is just going to hope that all of that is tidied up in terms of not having to come back for anything.
Defensive hustle again by the Pumas, absolutely outstanding.
Okay.
Just the ability to have that interplay.
Great, thank you.
Where they've been so destructive so far this season, that'll be mitigated.
More, stay.
Scotland from the line out, down with Brown.
Okay, clear away, clear away.
Gonna have to play it. Wasn't enough movement. Tui Pulotu for his centre partner Harris. Into the 22 comes Scotland round the corner. It was a nice arrival from Johnny Gray. Price, Gilchrist. Low body position. Russell's come round to the left now, and he's trying to push Harris out. And an advantage for slowing the ball down. It was quick ball that Finn Russell wanted. Oh, can it be juggled and finished? Tio Van der Merwe has got the ball down. It looked like it might, it looked like it wouldn't.
Doing the damage, the Pumas a man down defensively, taking the ball to the gain line. An outstanding half break and a sleight of hand to offload. Duhan Van der Merwe, an exceptional job to gather the ball. But the skill set by Finn Russell in his left hand, absolutely phenomenal. And Scotland stretched their lead.
Third try of the match. Second for Scotland. Tui Pulotu. Finn Russell has gone with the kick pass this time to Van der Merwe. Comes back in field. Oh, swerving beautifully. Might need support on the shoulder. It's a super strong run from the winger. Schumann, and look at that. Scotland are up for this now. Russell again. Low drive from Tuipulotu. Schumann again, bouncing his way through the Pumas. Russell, more depth that time for Harris, but door was firmly shut on the Gloucester centre. Need to be careful not to get isolated as Dempsey goes on a little forage. Seeing a fair amount of Van der Merwe. Russell, oh, the little dummy, and Finn Russell through the gap. Got some finishing needed, he finds Gilchrist. Ball popped up, support on the right, Scotland ship it. It's going to be the third try, is it? Oh, somehow it stops, but straightening, and that looks like a grounding. Well, by hook or by crook, Scotland are finding the line, and this time it's Darcy Graham.
Finn Russell to the gain line, pumps the ball between two big type 5 forwards. The offload again to Grant Gilchrist, getting inside on the front foot. They managed to keep the ball alive. Quick hands again, the fizz on that ball, a 3-on-1, nearly destroyed. But the Scottish Cheslin Colby, Darcy Graham, explosive as he is. Again, the start of the play, how the line break was created. Finn Russell, the visionary with the crossfield kick. Duhan van der Merwe again on the front foot, breaking tackles. But the finish absolutely excellent by the youngster Darcy Graham. And Scotland racing now away with this from this Pumas pack. Really challenging the physicality on that gain line. Scotland forced to flood up in numbers and take men on suspicion even if they don't have the ball.
Looking for the quick tap, Matera goes himself. Scotland do their best to try and slow it down. It'll be pick and go from the Pumas. Close to the line and held initially. Short they go, not there that time. Quick pick, the line at the mercy of Alamalo. Argentina do get the try with a couple of minutes on the board. Scotland in discipline in their 22, providing a red carpet for their opponents.
The initial work at the maul, superb as well. Argentina, the quality.
Can Scotland press this advantage in the second half? Price. Longer pass over to that left side. Gilchrist will help with the clear out from Ferguson. Russell. Schumann. Certainly put his shoulder in and done a fair amount of the carrying, and Russell then gets on the outside arc and then finds Stuart Hogg on the outside. It's Darcy Graham, and Graham in the corner for Scotland. Russell again pulling the strings. Graham again with the finish.
Opted to go back to the short side and using the full width, and again is Tuipulotu the link with Finn Russell. The half break and the offload, the 2-on-1 finish beautifully by Stuart Hogg and Darcy Graham. Scotland start the second half with a bang. An outstanding piece of collective rugby.
Van der Merwe roared on by BT Murrayfield. Hogg was arriving on the right shoulder, he didn't get the offload he wanted. Price. Scotland driving, taking yards. 8 minutes remain on that first yellow card. Weren't too many seconds between them, were they? Jamie Ritchie, Scottish captain. Now have they got a bit more room on the wide out right. Graham going in search of a hat-trick into the 22. Gilchrist. Russell looking to find the right option. Oh, but then Dempsey loses it. Oh, and what a break this is. Chasing upfield, Matthias Orlando is looking for someone quicker, and who else will it be? The man on his 50th cap, and Scotland with 15 against Argentina with 12 have conceded the try. The ultimate insult.
Man advantage. Lack of control of the ball, and after that the Pumas are away. The line break, and what about this for an offload? Absolutely sumptuous. Buffelli has the pace to finish.
Over 15.
Overthrow will be collected by Jamie Ritchie. Away from White. Carry from Johnny Gray. Scotland go the same way, but Russell runs out of options. You would think Scotland are the team with 12 players at the minute. They simply cannot find the continuity that we saw them have in the first half. Gilchrist, Tuipulotu is loitering on the far touchline. Fraser Brown with the carry. Russell looked like he wanted it till he kept tight. He didn't want it at that point, but now surely Scotland have the numbers. Stuart Hogg finds Tuipulotu, and eventually Scotland do break through with such a numerical advantage. They're up to 29.
Again, Argentina forced to shoot off their line, come up offside and pressurise the Scottish backline. But Stuart Hogg, a lovely piece of footwork, the goose step, brings in the 2-on-1. Tuipulotu lurking on the touchline, dives over for a second. Scotland stretch their lead.
Johnny Beattie may not have much hair left if he keeps pulling it out at the rate he may be. Tuipulotu now in a bit more space. In and out. It's lovely work from Tuipulotu. The dummy offload, but did he lose it? It's still there. Scotland looking to load through Walker. Then again from White. In the middle is Christie. Twisting and turning, the volume goes up again at BT Murrayfield as Ferguson takes it. Turner is coming in, but White's being told to go back the other way. Gilchrist continuing to carry. White, Russell on the toe, through the gap, try time. Scores his first try for Scotland.
Argentina again, they've contested extremely well, but Finn Russell, knowing Argentina are loading the front line, sticks that ball in behind. Cam Redpath gets on the end with a brilliant chase. Scotland pick up another 5-pointer. It hasn't been easy. There's still 10 minutes to go, but Scotland just nudged themselves in front again.
Back up to, well, 15 against 14, but I'm sure you're keeping up wherever you're watching. Scotland looking to drive, but now they'll play it with Redpath out the back door. It'll work out for Stuart Hogg from Russell. Try number 7 for Scotland, and they're putting a bow on the performance now. 11 weeks till the start of the Guinness Six Nations. They will have a win under their belts for getting the job done.
The damage is done up front. A real nudge on by the forward pack. It's almost the same start of play. We've seen the same principle. Tuipulotu, Cam Redpath taking the ball to the line. The wrap options out the back. The Scottish side much more fluid with him at the helm. Quite rightly, the man of the match.
Argentina changed things at scrum half. Lautaro Bazán-Velez is on. Morales made his debut last week, but Velez comes on for a third cap. But this is Scotland once more. Will there be a little bit more entertainment at BT Murrayfield? They've got some room for Darcy Graham to get a hat-trick, and he will! The smallest man on the Murrayfield gets the biggest of cheers from BT Murrayfield.
He has to now be seen as one of the best finishers in the game. Darcy Graham. The Pumas now absolutely exhausted. Blair Kinghorn coming into the line with injection of pace, creating another 2-on-1 finish beautifully. Salvage a little bit of pride. Finish with a bang. They must be out on their feet.
Having to do it for so much of the match, down to 14 men. Look at them still trying to get the go forward and managing to do so. Remarkable, really. And they're looking at the referee. He's given the corner once now. And now they'll play Orlando. Oh, and then nobody there immediately for Matthias Moroni, who goes a metre short. Chance. Oh, didn't quite open up as Velez wanted it to. Numbers to the right are there. Can Argentina keep it alive? Another close quarters pick and a score. Well, such admirable effort from the Pumas. It'll be a Scottish night, but finished with a South American garnish. Absolutely exhausting. And that's just in the commentary box.
Exhausting, but you can see the absolute respect from these players at the end of the game. It's Ruiz that gets over to have the final word in this game.
England are up the other end, but the scrum half, Van Poortvliet there, just kicking the ball away when he didn't really need to do it. Just get it through the hands, give it to some forwards, and try and get some position that way.
On the line block.
The three Barrett brothers in this starting 15 for New Zealand.
Oh, and in goes Papali'i, and it's a gift. And New Zealand have been handed 7 points in the 4th minute. What anticipation by the open side. Well, it's not too difficult to spot under the England radar.
Well, they say he's putting the captain Kane under pressure from his jackling and his all-round play, but that is an absolute gift in a sense. I think they've seen that on the training paddock. He's read that superbly well. That's another mistake from the scrum half. You do not give that pass. You do not give it. You can see him flying out the line totally legally, and there's no one on England can actually get within 10 metres of him.
On the evidence of the opening 8 minutes is a New Zealand side very much on the upgrade. Cody Taylor, who himself has had his problems this season on the rugby pitch, getting back to his best form. Some of the big fellas coming in. Cody Taylor's there. Has he got it down? And the referee says yes. New Zealand have a second try, and we've been playing 8.5 minutes.
Amazing. The captain, he went for the corner, and then the rest of his charges did the trick. Cody Taylor. Again, hookers normally have that ball right at the back. Love no money, that ball has gone down. Just watch now. There they go. They're spinning around it towards the posts. England try and just hold it up. Now the backs come in. They're not needed. No one goes in to stop. There's only Simmons. Marcus Smith doesn't want to, and eventually gets it down. The referee's in that ideal position. Again, you've got to say that Scott Barrett is right in front of the ball carrier, but it doesn't really matter. It's allowed. I think, well, England are shell-shocked. The crowd are shell-shocked. 2 tries, as you said, Martin, in 8.5 minutes.
Well, Cody Taylor suffered a dip in form.
If not, he doesn't play, as far as I'm concerned. You put Smith at 12, put Smith at 10, you put Tuolangi at 12.
The carry from Simmons. Here's Van Poortvliet. That goes astray. Well picked up on the half volley. Here's Tuolangi. It's 10 years and 2 weeks since Tuolangi tore apart New Zealand on this ground. The ball going loose. Here's Mo'unga.
I'm just going to say we need the Tuolangi of 2012, don't we? We need somebody just to hold the hand up, to carry the ball. Free play again.
Bowden Barrett That kick pass once again in space, and look at Ioane, and Ioane's a real sprinter. Johnny May's coming across, but May can't get there, and Ioane gets the try. And not for the first time today. It was the vision, it was a Barrett, it was a kick pass in space, and England simply didn't see it coming.
It's scrappy ball, they get the ball to Barrett in the middle. That isn't risky. Again, it's a beautiful catch from Caleb Clark. Ioane knows what's happening, he's coming around the outside, and you said a foot right, who can catch him? That's our quickest there, Johnny May, no chance. He has to come across from his other wing. This time the try stands, and I think that's the game. I don't want to write England off. Tuolangi, well, no chance. But again, they've torn England apart with this kick pass today. And that's when kicking...
Well, on a day when not everything has gone right for England, and indeed the graphics and the clocks, I can tell you that clock there is about 12 or 13 seconds behind, so it says we've got 7.5 minutes left. We'll take about a dozen seconds off that for absolute accuracy. Good offload there from Ribbons to Mako Vunipola. You can see Hoskins Sotutu with the blonde flecks in his hair. Here's Marcus Smith with space onto Porter. May having to apply the brakes before accelerating again. Ben Youngs onto Atojo. Here's Henry Slade. Ribbons, great offload. Now there's space for England. Now they're starting to flow. Freddie Stewart getting through Mo'unga. Here's Ben Youngs onto Mako Vunipola. The tackle from Whitelock. Youngs again. Stewart. England have another. The game remains alive.
Where's that thing? Farrell in space. Stewart just carrying. Hold on to that ball, lad. Hold on. He does. And then it's just a matter of numbers. 2-1. Doesn't need the man outside, scores it. Where have we been?
Use it now.
That time it was Shannon Frizzell who almost fell to ground. Perinara, the chip over the top. Gives an opportunity for Johnny May to run, who got through the tackle of Sotutu. Here's Billy Vunipola. Marcus Smith. Out there to Curry. A crescendo. Slade out to Porter. England are within 5. The clock says we're approaching the final minute. David Ribbons. What a finish. Vunipola. Who would have thought? England within a matter of inches of a possible draw here. Ben Youngs up there to Stewart. Oh, yes! And the hand is up there from the referee Renal, and he's going to call on Brian McNeice.
Listen in.
Have England done it? It's that man, Will Stewart. There is an England penalty.
That's a try.
Yes, Matthew, the ball has been...
Advantage being played. Another advantage. Doris, who started it all, is stopped on that occasion. Van der Fleer in the red scrum cap will pick and go. 2 Australians waiting to meet him. Tempo gone for the moment. Patience required from Ireland now. Australia committed to the defensive efforts.
No, lost!
As close as Ireland have been in 65.5 minutes. Beelum just inches short now.
Don't use your hands.
Another big man, another big push from Ireland.
Too short.
Australia doing enough.
Still got penalty advantage.
Just
short there again.
And again. Casey, advantage is there. Key is there. And Ireland have a try. They kept on knocking, and eventually the door opens. The crowd on their feet.
Keep a really simple pick and go, and then that's quality pass from Casey out to Bundy at key. Great body position, low and driving over the line.
To the back of a shortened line out. Hooper comes away with it, and then Skelton is asked to carry, and Doris and Crowley
are skittled away, and Van der Fleer and Ryan eventually drag the big man down. But only after Australia have got really good go-forward ball. Pataya, Skelton, nice hands from the big man to bring some runners outside him into play. Australia building and bubbling nicely here. White along the line looking to see if there's a weak shoulder. Wright carries it into contact. Ireland have gone after it, but they've gone after it illegally. Advantage to Australia. Free play. Where to from here? They have men, you know. They have men. One of them is Pataya. Straight back.
Yeah, good work, Jimmy.
65 minutes awaiting. 2 buses come along in 5. Australia are on the board. Ireland 10, Australia 8. Super try.
It wasn't clear that he was going to win it, and then brilliant work by Australia here. Now when I can't even pronounce his name so quickly, and Pataya just goes in beautifully over the line.
You know, for a big man, the skill set there from the pass from Skelton to Samu was sublime.
First visit of the French into enemy territory, into the enemy 22. Dante, new dad, of course, good to see him playing. Not sure that he was going to be fit after the injury that he received last week against the Springboks. Winnie Antonio gets the call from Fiku on the wrap round, but good defence from the Brave Blossoms, gradually moving the blue attack away from the 22, but back they come. Ntamack, little dab through, got the call. It's Penno. Penno's footballing skills, are they there? Yes, they are! In Le Stadium, the home of Toulouse FC. Damien Penno shows the same footballing skills for the French national rugby team to get the first try on the board.
Spot the space in behind.
It's onside as well, right?
Yeah, he's definitely onside, Andy. Okay, Andy, I have a decision. You may award the try. You may award the try.
The attack continues.
2 meters.
And as a consequence, the defenders next time up will be aware of the options that they've got. Oh, the break from Luku, feeds inside to Oliver. Charles Oliver, Captain Fantastic, goes over for another try. Charles Oliver is back in the building.
Inside channel. Look at this, jinking, weaving. And then the simple stuff done well, 2v1.
Yeah, okay, cool, perfect.
Charles Oliver.
And use it!
Having to bide his time till the ball was presented properly, puts the box kick up. Ramos safe underneath it once again. Continues to impress Thomas Ramos in that 15 jersey.
Yes, ball is out. Okay.
Antonio
okay, stop.
Sets up the stall, and Ntamack testing out Dylan Riley on that right flank. Oh, the break around the fringe. Yamanaka gets it out to his scrum half. He scored at Twickenham, he scored at the stadium. Naoto Sato is back on the scoreboard.
Well, it's a worldie, isn't it, from Japan. Nakano in short, pulling defenders left and right. And then that one-handed deft pass around the back of Ramos. And then
a late bloomer, should we say, at 30 years of age. Luku threads it through. Yamanaka anticipates, does get tremendous height on those kicks. Jalabert with plenty of time though to field. Gets a good weighted kick and takes the ball. Jalabert looking, gets the support. He's only been on 30 seconds. Challeron can't get there though. France suddenly with a visit into the Japanese 22 and options are plenty. Makalou feeds it out. Penaud scored 2 tries against Japan in July. He scored 2 tries against Japan in November, and on the hour mark, France at last get their 3rd try on the board.
Damien Penaud, a grateful recipient. If you have to sit there fairly quiet and deal with the lack of the momentum going your way. Again, hard back to yesterday, but New Zealand did exactly the same.
Sakate with a little inside pop to Fafita. Beautifully manipulated try from the visitors. What works on the training paddock is produced on the park. And a lovely, lovely score in response from the Brave Blossoms.
Well, it's Sakate's ability to interest those initial defenders with his pace and his physicality.
Rugby collision of some proportions between Fafita and Geelong. Comes back to the home side. Koyu, Jalabert, Moefana. Been in midfield since the 15th minute of this game when Fiku had to leave. Chanaro sets it back. Jalabert spots a big gap behind the defence. The offload is there for Aldrit. Looking for support on his right, they roll on his left. Now they're there, Danty inside to Geelong. And the local boy done good. The Toulouse flanker in the right place at the right time.
That number 10 shirt moving into the Six Nations.
That game last year, 29-28 to Wales, 5 tries, 17 line breaks, 13 offloads, 42 missed tackles. Wales lost 4 line-outs, but not that one. Justin Tipperick, Ken Owens. And here's Hawkins, they're getting him on the ball early. A very good idea, obviously. Get him settled into the pace of the game. Faletau carries again. And Williams has Hawkins once more, his 3rd touch. Ken Owens, the sheriff, as he's known, has started the 3rd test for the Lions in South Africa last July. Adam Beery could have shifted that to George North. He had Josh Adams outside him as well. It eventually gets to North, who's made some big tackle busts in this campaign, some dominant tackles on the other side of the ball too. And it's Australia doing all the defending right now. Another penalty to Wales under the post this time.
Wrong side.
Can they fashion this into something more? Thomas Williams looks for the dart. Alan Wynne Jones goes straight, gets support, and Wales are there. And it's that man again. Jack Morgan, 2 tries against Georgia, pops up with another one here, but it's set up by the Welsh ultra legend Alan Wynne Jones.
But as much as he is the legend here in Wales, it's been all people have been talking about. Why hasn't he been starting? Is it his time to move over? Well, there is proof on point. He's still got a lot to give to that Welsh jersey. Lovely bit of reaction play there. He could have been selfish. The Australian defender only had one arm around his leg. He could have driven and gone for that himself.
And Wayne Smith, the Black Ferns coach, won Coach of the Year, the professor as he's known. Josh van der Fleer was the men's player of the year. It's another scrum penalty. Look at that march forward, and he's playing this advantage. Hawkins, lovely ball. Anscombe, this is great rugby. Josh Adams, that's what he brings to the fullback role. That pace and footwork.
Lifting the ball.
Lee Halfpenny out in the warm-up. Anscombe again. Oh, Alan Wynne Jones, another one of those kinky little offloads. He's having a ball out there. Gareth Anscombe, can he step through Fayinga's defensive challenge? He can't. Adam Beard, they're really trying to play some rugby here, this Welsh side. That'll get the crowd behind them. Alex Cuthbert, all that experience to ground. Nice tip on this time from Gareth. Thomas off goes Justin Tipperick. Hawkins, he's at a really solid start, fizzing that pass across to Welsh shirts. Gareth Anscombe, is there a chance on the outside here? There is! Faletau! Well, that one was out of the more colourful pages of the Welsh playbook.
As you can say, that he's having a really good Autumn Nations campaign, but it's the tip-ons. Look at this from Alan Wynne-Jones. Because he's got so much presence, so much physicality, he's going to draw players in, but then to have that finesse to get that offload away, and Justin Tipuric makes it to bust through then. Lovely hands here by the backs. They know the goal. It's to get it to the edge. It's to get it to Faletau. No one's selfish. Quick thinking. Silky hands. Really good play from Wales.
I just love the way Wayne Pivac's the advantages of that great experience. So here they go again. Oh. Can they get some momentum this time? The Wallabies. Fayinga's in possession. Stays bound to Frost. Can they go all the way through the forwards?
Take it out!
Looking ominous now for this Welsh side. Matt Carley inspects in this direction.
And also, if they
got
the
off,
goal line, they can use that.
It did pay off. I think Wales did well. And that final collision was made a good 10 metres behind where that driving maul was. So really good defensive effort.
Well, it's a good defence, that type of defence, if you can, against 13 men, if you can stop the opposition getting the ball to the edge. And that's what Icky Toy did there. But you've got to time it or you'll concede a try. Owens to Tipuric, really good line out. Now this should be the moment. Against 13 men. Big drive, penalty again. Can the forwards go all the way? Trucking, combusting the Australian defence with some seismic rugby from that big pack. Jack Morgan.
He is certainly having a standout campaign, isn't he? Absolute utter dominance here from that Welsh pack. All in. Some of those Welsh players are actually struggling to keep up with the pace of that. Really good, managing to twist that Australian defence there. Too many Australian bodies on the side, not enough in behind to get their power into it.
Jeez, the Welsh pack were halfway to Swansea. If it's in that direction. If they win this line out on maul like they did the last few times, this will be a try. Alan Wynne-Jones, they come in quickly, the Wallabies, they know they have to. They can't allow that momentum again. Can they stop it legally? That's the question.
Still moving.
Goes to Rio Dyer. If he'd gone on the blind side there might have been complete space for him to go into and score, untouched nearly. Alan Wynne-Jones with a carry. Kieran Hardy, Dylan Lewis. Out comes Icky Toy.
No hands!
Red
Away!
shirts, both sides of the ball, evenly split. George North. Relentless try score for Wales. In that red shirt, Ken Owens, full of energy. 35 years of age, Gareth Thomas. What a position now for Wales, and Rio Dyer. Another glitch in the Wallaby matrix with 14 men on the field, and Wales find the space with the extra man.
On the money, and it was pinpoint accuracy. Real good confidence booster for Anscombe as well. Look at that miss pass, time to perfection, read beautifully by Rio Dyer to put himself in that position. He knows they're running out of space. It's got to be a flat pass.
There's a real sense of doom around this stadium when I arrived here today. You know, Pivac must go, they lost it. Georgia losing to Italy, and now it's a rise or win, isn't it?
Crouch!
And the great thing is he's one of the youngsters in the team, so there's plenty left in him.
Set!
Here's McDermott. All the Australian players are in this side. Jordan Pataya was one of them, that try against Ireland, which was very well finished. Here's Pete Samu. McDermott out to Robertson. Wales offside.
Hands away! Penalty advantage goal.
Lolesio pulls it back neatly. Oh, is that The finish from Nwanga Niatasi, squirreling his way around the Welsh defence.
Look out for him, he is fantastic.
Nwanga Niatasi.
There he is, that little stutter step just before contact.
By the time you say his name, they've made 3 passes. What a finish, getting outside Cuthbert. Lolesio taking it to the line, and Ikatau delivering the try scoring pass.
See, he was just making Alex Cuthbert sit back on his heels that split second.
Given the right impetus and against 14 men. Let's see, can they make the comeback of all comebacks? Nwanga does it again, he's gone, and he's scored again. His second try of the game for Nwanga Niatasi. What an influence he's had on this match. Ball in his hands, he's almost unstoppable. What an impact on the match.
Brilliant impact, but brilliant movement play there. That's a proper training park move. Executed really well, and it was the timing of the pass here, the delay look, just pulling Jack Morgan out of the picture, opening up that gap between the forwards pack and the back.
Right decision. Could you take the 3 and then consider the converted try, or go for the try now?
I think they're right for go for the try now. You can just feel that bit of momentum they've got. They certainly had Wales chasing those rucks, and actually off that first phase, if they'd have gone back against the grain down the blind side, the Australian winger was there calling it, but unfortunately the scrum half didn't hear. They went open. It was a missed opportunity.
Lonergan. Well, we've seen how powerful this Welsh maul has been during this match. It's led to scores. Now is this Australia's time? And what a moment this would be to score in this game. With a 9-point margin, over they go. Crabbing towards the line. Carney goes in to inspect so closely. Oh my goodness, it's far away from being like the Fainga. Well, might not Carney shake his head.
Yet, Matthew, but this is probably our best angle.
Well, you need an X-ray machine to see through about 15 bodies and sets of buttocks.
If he's over the goal line, is the... No, hang on.
There's the regrounding there. There's boots and muck and grass and thighs and calves and shirts and heads and arms and ribs and
okay.
everything.
16's on the line. His hands are on the floor. Are behind. Yeah, but his hands are on the floor first.
Okay, Matthew, we've got nothing that shows any compelling...
Tate McDermott. Now Holloway carries. Got to watch McDermott around those fringes where he caused trouble against Scotland. That sort of place there where he's inclined to snipe. Now the width comes. Here is Ned Hannigan. Nwanga Niatasi. The handoff. The support is there. Oh, he lobs it over the top to McDermott. What an offload to Fraser McWright. Is this the moment when the Wallabies break all those Welsh hearts? All the numbers, all the defenders on the right-hand side. Ikatau hand comes in, pick up and go, and try for Lachlan Lonergan. And Australia have fashioned one of the most incredible comebacks you will ever see. Now we got the dreaded words from the TMO. If you're an Australian, hold on a minute, Matt. I have something I want to check. Does the ball come off an Australian hand after that knock-on, obviously, from Wales? Doesn't look like it there.
Sorry. Happy?
I think we're okay, Matt.
Try is good.
Says the TMO. And the continent of Australia can let out their...
And Portfleet. Carry from Carl Sinclair straight into Bongium Bonambi.
Leave it! Leave it!
Marcus Smith. Farrell. Chance to run for Tuolangi. Tuolangi only lasted 8 minutes in this fixture last year. Did score a try though. Vunipola, no real impact there, being held up by Etzebeth. Back to Smith. Tester here for Willemse. Good step. Willemse's got Leroux inside him. There's Billy Leroux. Arendse on the right. There goes Arendse. And Arendse has stepped Smith. And Arendse gets his 7th try in 7 test matches. Well, for half an hour, this match has offered little.
Wow, that's all I could say. Stewart there, that's fine. You can see the try scorer, Arendse. Excuse me. Just pushing out the way. Billy Leroux doesn't botch things up. Just wait. Look at this for step. Marcus Smith is no slouch. Marcus Smith is light on his feet. He's just been done there. What do they say? Inside a phone box. Absolutely amazing. You can just see they're going to attack up this first side. It's the first time they've really pinned back their ears. Willemse there, Leroux. And then watch this. Well, my word. That's an unfair contest. Colby, eat your heart out. He's the paper, he's the glamour boy.
There he is. He casts a long and wide shadow, literally. And could he now do the same, figuratively, against the men in white? Will Stewart there to disrupt. The ball has gone to the ground. Another powerful carry. There's Faf de Klerk, Damien Dialindi. They're within 2 metres here. The man in green and gold, Maro Itoje, being told to get his hands off it. And South Africa have got the try. Rene Naylor, the physio, celebrating.
England are not getting off the line at all. Farrell, he's 12. You've got to be like a Creel, like a Dilande. You have to hit up hard. That's the best. That's easy. This cover, the referee is saying, well, they're actually lucky not to go down to 13 because they're giving so many penalties. Well, giving the referee opportunities to penalise them. Yeah. That is just so easy.
Just step back, did it?
Here's Ellis Genge. Farrell. The kick pass meant for Noel. Noel gets through the tackle there of Willemse, and Noel's away. Kwagga Smith comes across. The tackle, that man again, Mostert. He's been everywhere. What an engine he's got. Here's Ellis Genge.
Now you go.
On there to Farrell. Sam Simmons just spinning through the tackles. Faf de Klerk, I think, has hurt his Achilles or his calf. So South Africa effectively down to 13 for a while.
Go on, go, tap and go. You have to.
Well, I think there might be a stoppage. Faf de Klerk is sat down. Well, the referee's let it go. And there goes Farrell. Tackle there from Khaleesi. Now England do get their try. And it's Henry Slade. South Africa down to 13.
Initially right into the midfield looking for people, and then I just said, well, go, tap and go. My goodness me, Farrell makes a half break through the middle. Again, just recycle. Slade just sees that, just step.